Okay, so
And this one right here, that's a Jackson too. I think that's where they had the junkyard.
oh, okay.
Yeah. You see, they got an old bus there. Yeah, I think
So
that's
that's
Jackson.
house number 2,
Yeah.
right? Okay, cool. All right, so I just want to some of the stuff you've told me before, but I just want to make sure I got it right. And so your Theodore was your husband, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she's
Yes.
the brother of Nellie,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
and he was a
Landscaper.
landscaper. Is that right? Okay. And Nellie's married name is, or yeah,
Thornton.
that's her.
Well, she married her Thornton, but her name was
Dean.
Dean. Mm-hmm.
Right. And where did you go to school?
Who, Nellie?
You.
Oh, well, I went to school. I went to that Conklin school when I was in, but back then they had no kindergarten, first grade.
Okay.
I think I went there, I can't remember how long. Then I went to the Oak Grove School.
Old Grove?
Oak Grove School. That's out there on 606 as you go into Herndon.
So that's in Fairfax.
Half of it was Fairfax, and half of the school was Loudon.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Old Grove.
Mm-hmm. And they did make it out of a police station. I don't know what it is now.
Okay.
And I went there until I went to the high school, Douglas High School.
After that.
Mm-hmm.
So just the 3 schools, Conklin, Old Grove,
And Douglas.
and then Douglas. Well, thinking of Conklin, do you remember that?
Just barely. I remember the stove, the big stove they had in there,
Yeah.
and the desk. That's all.
Oh, what's about the desk? Do you remember?
I don't know. It was small and set. You know them old timey desks. Yeah.
I mean, a desk for students.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember? You probably walked, I imagine. Did you walk
No, we had it was a school bus.
for Conklin?
Had a school bus came along and picked us up back then. I didn't walk.
Oh, that's right, because you would have come in later.
Mm-hmm.
That's right, because you're a lot younger. Okay, so then you went there for like a year. Is that what it
A
was?
year or two, I can't remember.
Something like that. Those
Yeah.
early days. So, do you remember anything about the color on the inside? Nothing like that. Nothing. Okay, that's all right. So, the Old Grove. What do you remember of that?
Oh, that was each class was by themselves.
So
Like
different
the
rooms.
Third grade, yeah. Fourth grade, fifth, yeah.
Okay. And do you remember the chairs, the desks, things like that?
Then they were normal. They wasn't like the other desks. You know, they was
They were nice.
not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thinking back on Conklin, some of these schools had bells on top, hand clappers. Do you remember any of that?
No.
I remember Nellie. This would be your sister-in-law.
Sister-in-law,
Sister-in-law. Nellie told me there was a hand clapper.
Oh, I can't remember.
Yeah, I mean, she went there for a long time.
Yeah, she went. Yeah.
When you went to the Grove School, were there sports?
No.
Like basketball in the backyard or anything like that?
Only thing I remember, every May we used to have May Day.
Oh, at the school.
At the school.
And did you like go around a pole?
Yeah, we had to pull. Each class have different activity to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had a queen. You sell tickets. Whoever sells the most tickets would be the queen.
So were
for
you
the whole school? I was the queen one year.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, how was the day organized? Like, so you go to school. You're going by bus, right? So you walk in. What? Just walk me through what a day was like. What was the first thing you did?
I can't remember.
Well, whatever you can remember.
I just remember just going when we first would get there in the wintertime. We used to go to the cafeteria because they had a cafeteria.
Oh.
And they would give us hot Coca-Cola and graham crackers.
That's
in the
cool.
morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we would go to our class. And it was just a normal.
Well, I mean, like, were there prayers at the beginning of class or Pledge of Allegiance?
We used to have, say, a Bible verse and a Pledge of Allegiance.
Okay.
And I did that in high school, too.
Oh, is that right? In Douglas?
In Douglas. we used to say a scripture and the Pledge of Allegiance.
How do they pick the scripture? The teacher do that, or the
No,
students?
you just pick one.
Oh, you pick whatever you wanted to. Ah, I see. I didn't know that. That's interesting. Now, I've heard a lot of stories about teachers visiting homes to help students with homework, or to, if they weren't doing very well, to come in and say, you need to do better. Was it that way with you? Did teachers come visit you at all?
No.
They didn't come home? Okay. What about discipline?
I didn't ever get disciplined.
No, I didn't mean you personally, but...
Oh, I can't remember, did they get disciplined or not.
I know in some schools they had sticks,
Yeah, I
which
know
had
some
names.
of them they would come along and tap you
your
on your finger like a yardstick or something.
Yardstick, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did that for me when I was I went to a Catholic school for 2 years, and they'd whap you. They had a big stick called a bobo stick, which was a yardstick with holes in it. They'd bend you over and whap you, leave a little... So you're probably not going to remember much about Conklin. I know when I had talked to Nellie a while ago, and she gave me a lot of information, and Jimmy as well. Now, Jimmy is what, her brother?
Jim Dean.
Jim Dean? Who is he?
Jim Dean was my brother. But
Your brother?
He passed away.
No, I know, but I interviewed him a long ago.
A long time ago.
Right. When did he die?
I can't remember. I guess about 5 years ago.
Okay. When you went to school, any of these schools, Conklin, Old Grove, or Douglas, what was the story about lunch? Did you get lunch there, or you bring it with you?
At Conklin, we took our own lunch, but at Oak Grove, they had lunch.
Because they had a cafeteria.
They had a cafeteria.
And of course, at Douglas, they had a cafeteria.
They had a cafeteria, yeah.
How was the food?
It was okay.
It was okay.
Yeah.
Just okay.
Yeah, okay.
Just okay.
Yeah.
And it was just lunch, or was there also breakfast?
No, it wasn't no breakfast at all.
No hot breakfast. Okay.
And at Douglas, you could buy what you want. Like you want to buy donuts or buy ice cream,
right.
Chocolate milk, or like you could buy what you want.
Oh, that's cool. Now, how about heat? Now, at Conklin, they had the stove.
The stove, yeah.
And what about Oak Grove?
Oh, it had, I guess it was, they had register. He'd come up to register.
So central air of some sort.
Yes,
yeah.
And Douglas.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Water? That was running water?
Yeah, at the Oak Grove and...
So both, well, of course, Douglas would be running water. Conklin, as I understand it, was not. It was like a bucket.
A well. Yeah,
a well.
Well,
People would bring the water. And what Nellie told me was that was behind Conklin were 2 toilets, one for girls, one for boys, outside.
Yeah.
But I guess at Oak Grove and certainly at Douglas, it would have been inside.
Yeah,
Is that correct? Inside. When you went to Leesburg, did you ever visit the Union Street School? The 2-story. It used to be where they did high school before Douglas. Did you ever visit that building? Never? Oh. That's where a lot of our records were found. Now, my understanding is that the Prosperity Church burned in 1951, and then the school was used for religious services, and Theodore did the lighting of the...
you had service over.
So you're pretty familiar with the building, but only after it was used. I mean, like, we're talking about the Conklin School used for religious purposes. You must have gone into it a number of times. Do you remember what it was like inside?
No, I was still little when they had service.
Right. Yeah.
And I didn't go to Prosperity Church then nowhere. I used to go to Chantilly Church with my daddy.
Ah.
My daddy went to Chantilly Baptist Church right across from my
Right.
Yeah. Because see, my dad and my family, our house was down there just before you get to Cox's farm. You know what Cox's farm?
Sure.
At the end of Loudon and Fairfax, but his property was in Loudon.
Got it.
He had, my daddy had 56 acres of land.
Wow. What did he do on that?
A farm. He had horses and everything.
Wow. So you grew up with all that.
Uh-huh.
Do you know how to ride? How
The
to,
horses?
yeah.
No, he had like a buggy, a wagon. We had a wagon. I used
Sure.
to get on the wagon while he would go out in the field and do stuff.
Did you help look after the animals?
No.
Like milk the cows, anything like that? Nothing
No,
like
I milk would just be help, but I didn't ever have no chores
that?
to.
I milked cows when I was in college. That's what I was wondering.
And
It really wears the hands out.
and in November before Thanksgiving, that's when they would kill the hogs for meat.
Mm-hmm. Is that what you ate for Thanksgiving? Was hog, not turkey?
Oh yeah, we had turkey.
Yeah.
But the meat, like when they killed the hog, and then my dad had like a meat house.
Mm-hmm.
And in that house, in that little house, that's where you keep your meat at, like the ham.
To cure it. To smoke it.
So you load it down with salt, and then you hang it up.
Did you salt it or just salt? I mean, I'm not salted, but did you smoke it or just salt it?
Just put salt on it
Salt.
and then hang it up.
Sure. Huh. Okay. Well, I'd like to know a little bit more about this community before South Riding. You know, and some things that I've heard from different people. So it was at one time, of course, a white community, then black and white, mostly known for the African Americans, and it died off. And why do you think it died off? Why do you think people? A lot of them left. You didn't leave. I guess you sold your property and bought this place.
My husband sold his property.
And bought where you are now.
Yeah, from what do you call it? The high school, the middle school. What do you call it? Left foot.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, because our land was right across the road.
From the high school, from the middle school.
From the middle school.
Right. That's what, Lunsford, I think?
Yeah, Lunsford. Yeah.
Okay. But there were a lot of people. I don't know, how many people do you think lived in Conklin?
Up there where the church was all around there, that was all where the church was, and on Elk Lake Road, till you got to the little thing. It was all black.
Yeah.
I guess about, I don't know, about 40 people.
About 40 people.
40
40 houses or 40 people?
40 people.
40 people.
Yeah.
So most of them left.
Yeah, they sold when they left.
Now, what I'm being told, and I just don't know if this is true, what I'm being told is that the reason they sold, property taxes were coming up, it was becoming expensive to live there, and the county was not putting in water.
Yeah.
So you didn't have flushing toilets. You had to use outhouses. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because they wouldn't let you. Because when my husband built his house, because see, when I got married, we used to live with his mother. His mother is that Dean Settle cabinet.
Right.
But it was bigger than that. Because it had a kitchen onto it. The cabinet part, that's the back part of it.
What we see today.
Yeah, that's the back part, but it had a front part to it.
Oh.
Like it had a kitchen, a living room, and the bedroom.
Oh, so it's much bigger than what we see today.
Yeah, it's bigger than what it is. But it all fell
I was
in.
wondering about that.
Yeah,
and that collapsed eventually.
Yeah,
I see.
Because when my husband first, we lived there with his mother until he bought the house up above that.
Okay.
He built the house, and they wouldn't let us put in indoor
septic tank or anything like that. Now, I've been inside the house, the cabin today, of course. I've been inside, and there's like an upstairs area which is very low.
Yeah, it was upstairs to it too.
Right, but so this is the back of what.
That's the back part of it.
The back part of it.
And that was the cabinet. That was 2 bedrooms in the back. They made that out 2 bedrooms.
Where we go today.
Yeah, because me and my husband, we had one of the bedrooms in the back. It had a little window.
Oh. And what was upstairs? What was that?
It was just like I didn't ever go upstairs, but it was just where they just
storage
stored stuff upstairs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But nobody was living there.
Not upstairs. Now, I guess when Doc and Nellie, I don't know, did Nellie and them live up there now?
I had to ask her.
Yeah.
She's 102, I understand.
Yeah, she's 102.
That's an amazing lady.
Because Doc's family, they had 4 kids, so they probably living up there. They had 4. It was Doc, Art, Nellie, and he had another sister named Rhodey.
And where was the kitchen?
The kitchen was on the front, the part
that's disappeared. And that do you remember that kitchen was still? What can you describe it?
It was it had a wood stove.
Okay.
And then.
I mean, the same kind of stove we have in a schoolhouse, that kind of stove, or a flat?
Oh no, this was a flat.
Flat, yeah.
Flat stove where you can cook on top of it. Then it had like on this end, you could put water in it, keep water in, so the water would stay hot all the time.
Oh sure, I've seen those. Yeah, of course, yeah. And that keeps the house warm too, I guess, if you keep it going. And the toilets were the toilet? No, there weren't toilets.
No,
it was like an outhouse. Okay. Interesting. Now, I'm told that the people here, they were farmers, like your father. A lot of them were subsistence farmers, so they grew enough to, not necessarily to sell, but I don't know if your father sold or not, but they hunted rabbit, squirrel, which, as I understand, hunted on the south side of Braddock Road, where the schools are today. Is that correct?
Yeah, 'cause I remember my daddy used to go out, since we had the 56 acres of land, he used to go out and hunt on his land.
What did he hunt?
Squirrel and rabbit. I didn't ever eat it.
No?
No.
I've had both.
Squirrel and rabbit.
When I went to college, my roommate in college, my first year in college, he didn't have a lot of money. Just enough to go to school. So instead of going to the grocery store, he had the 22, it was a pellet gun, and he killed squirrels, which he was skinned there, and then keep them in the freezer in a refrigerator thing that he had in the room. And he served this to me one day. It was different.
Yeah.
It was different.
And I remember my daddy, like the digging of the church, the men of the church, they used to come up with him. And at nighttime, they would go, I don't know, possum, some kind of hunting they did in the nighttime.
Yeah.
My daddy and the men from the Chantilly Baptist Church.
The Jackson house you pointed out to me, is that Beatrice Jackson?
It was, one of them was Beatrice Jackson, and then it was Corey and Andrew Jackson. They had a house. Jim Jackson had a house there.
Do you know if one of those was her house?
I don't see Beatrice's house on here.
Oh, okay. Now, I read. Well, first of all, is she still alive? Do you know when she died? About?
I guess about 8 years ago.
8 years ago. I read somewhere in 1993, so she was interviewed by a newspaper in 1993, that she had to walk a mile to get water. And was that typical? People had to walk quite a distance to get water? Now, you lived differently. You lived over here by Cox's farm, but the folks are here in Conklin. I mean, there's no well, I guess, right? You had to go a distance to the stream? I
don't know, because my dad, we had a well. And Doc and them, they had a well up on they had a well.
Okay.
So, but I don't know.
Well, that was what she had said back in 1993. She had to walk a whole mile, which means you had to walk a mile to get the water, then walk another mile to get home.
I don't know where they got it from.
And that's heavy stuff. Water's heavy.
Yeah, because the Jackson, like I said, the Jackson house is not too far from where the church at. I know they used to come up to the church, but that's not no mile.
Well, maybe I should have said that. The church, where did he get its water?
The church?
Because at one time it wasn't running water, as I'm told. They had to get water from the stream. No, I know it is. Pastor Lawson was telling me people used to be baptized in a stream. Is that right?
Or they used to get, they got baptized down on my daddy's land.
Oh.
It's a bridge down there, and you go down the car. I guess the bridge is still there. If you go straight down Braddock.
Right.
It was a bridge.
Okay.
And that's where they used to baptize.
By the bridge.
It was right there, and our land was right there next to where the bridge.
Cool.
Because we had land on both sides of the road, on this side of the road and on that side of the road. My daddy did.
Do you remember who lived on the land that these two schools are on today?
Uh,
Lunsford
and the Cardinal.
yeah.
The Lefford, it was Christina. Christina lived there.
Christina
North.
North?
She lived.
Okay.
Her house was right there.
Okay. On the other side of the road, on the same side they're on.
On the same, where the school was.
Okay.
Lefford School. Her house was right there.
I remember a while ago, this is quite a while ago, a fellow named Ronnie Arnold, who has the house next to the church, or did. So this is before the schools were built. So he took me across, and there was a farm over there. So there were barns and the remains of a house, just the chimney. Is that what you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about where the middle school at. Christina, our house is right there.
Okay.
But on the house where Cardinal at, that was, his name was, what was his name? Ernest something. He was a black guy.
Was he? Yeah, I remember.
He owned that. Yeah, he owned that. And then he had a daughter. And because they ain't too long when they sold it when they built the Cardinal School.
Yes.
His granddaughters was two of them, two daughters, his two granddaughters and a son. That's who when they sold the house to, I guess, to build the Cardinal School.
Was anybody ever buried over there that you know of?
I don't.
Never heard of that. I wanted to ask you about Archie Newman. I don't know if you know that name. So
yeah, he lived in the house where Ronnie.
Yes, that's right. And I understand he was married to an African woman, and they moved back to Africa.
Oh no, Archie. That's the two different people.
Oh.
Archie, he was he was Newman. He sold the house to African people.
Okay. Oh, the people he sold it to were from Africa. I got it now. Okay.
Yeah. And I guess the African people must have sold it to Ronnie.
Right. Okay. Got it. And they went back to Africa.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I wonder why.
Oh,
I mean, when all the trouble to come here, then they go back.
Nellie said, I don't know too much about the African people. Nellie does, because she said her and her husband went over there. They invited him over there for dinner one day. Yeah. I forgot what she said that he said she did.
I've been inside the house.
It was a good house.
It was?
It's
not much there now.
No, Yeah, it was a nice house. It was nice inside when Archie Newman had it.
Oh.
Because Archie Newman is the one that had it. It was one of the put-up houses, the pre-put-up.
Prefabricated.
House, yeah. Because it had a living room, had 3 bedroom. It had indoor toilet.
Yes.
So it was a nice house when the Newmans had it.
Yes.
But I guess after they sold it to the African people, they must have, I don't know, then Ronnie.
Right. Ronnie's got all that stuff in the backyard.
And then it went down with Ronnie.
The thing I want to say about Ronnie is that he was such a pleasant individual with me. He met me one day on the side of the road, and I asked him about the house he lived in. He invited me over. I got to see it, and then I told him I was trying to do a history of the area. This is before I wrote the history of Conklin. I was just starting to get interested. This was a long time ago now. And he said, "Well, I'd like to take you around." So he took me around, and we went across the road before they built, I guess it's Cardinal Ridge, before they built that, and that's when I took this tour of that farm. And he just walked me through it. This is where he would hunt there.
Yeah, Ernest, the guy who lived over at Cardinal, his name was Ernest. I don't know, I forgot his last name, and he was a farmer.
So that was, anyway, Ronnie was very nice. I think people don't like him because he's a little junky there, but I thought he was a very nice person.
When it snowed, he would go around and
plow?
Clean the snow out people's driveway.
Sure.
The church and he had the thing on his truck. He used to do it.
I only can put a few more minutes on here space, but I want to ask you about Douglas. So Douglas is this great achievement. It's a true high school built for African Americans, really kind of by African Americans in a way. So when you were there, what do you remember most about going to Douglas?
Oh, it was a good school. Teachers, we used to have PE cooking class for the girls, so library. Cause see, Oak Grove School didn't have no library,
Mm,
so you could check out books
right.
and bring them home and read. That's what I like.
Well, tell
Check
me
out
then,
books.
before Douglas, what did you do for books?
Oh, we had books. We had the old books that the other people used to have. They was outdated books.
School books you're talking about, yeah.
The school books.
But the libraries, they were segregated, right, until a
Yeah.
certain date.
Yeah.
When did that stop?
I don't know, cause I don't remember we checking out no books at Oak Grove. Oak Grove.
Yeah.
The only thing I remember, we could check out books at
Right.
Douglas,
Okay.
cause we had each week we had to do a book report, and they would give you a little book where you write, and you had a little book like a paper inside of it, where you had to write the name of the book and the author. Then you had to tell what's in the first part, the middle part. You had to turn that in every Friday. And then we had to go to the library
Yeah.
and pick out. You could pick out whatever book you want to do your book report on, and read it.
Do you remember something called leisure reading? It was like a program that you would read in the summer and then report on what you read when you got back? Nothing
No,
like that. Did you have plays? Stage plays?
They had a drama class, yeah, but
Yeah.
I didn't
Didn't do
join
that. And did you have occasion to visit other schools before integration? Other,
Because I think I got my Douglas High School book around here somewhere. Yearbook around here somewhere.
but I mean, you didn't like have friends who went to like Bull Run or something and visit
Oh.
them there? Nothing like that.
No.
You know, I found that interesting because that's the same thing most people tell me, that they knew their school, but even if they had friends who went to another school, it was just too far, so they didn't go there. But where did you go elsewhere in Loudoun County? Did you travel around the county at all very much? Do you have friends in other villages, whatever?
No, okay, it wasn't too many, people.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. So you mainly stayed right around here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wasn't that much to, it wasn't nothing to do. 'Cause when I grew up, we didn't have no electric. Even my daddy, we didn't have no electric in our house.
No electricity?
Uh-uh.
Well, that's one of the things I wondered, because these homes in Conklin, like we were just looking at, if they had electricity, it'd be from what, a generator, or they have a generator? No electricity at all?
No, they had no electricity. They were like, let's say my daddy's house,
You're right.
where I grown up.
Down by Cox's
Yeah,
farm.
We didn't have no electric.
So for light, what a lantern?
We had the lamps,
lamp.
old time lamps.
Sure. Interesting.
And for the refrigerator, we had a what you call it? Ice box where you put the ice.
Big block of ice.
Uh-huh.
Right. I had one of those when I was a kid in the Middle East. I was living in Lebanon. And actually it got quite cold.
And just like my dad, like they didn't have to go to the store to get very much because they would kill hogs in November. So my mama used to, like the sausages, she used to, when you get through killing the hogs, she would fry them, then can them, put them in the glass jars and can them. Canned sausages.
Sure.
Spare ribs, you could can them.
Sure.
So we had all our food, and in the summertime we had all the vegetables. You used to can all that. String beans, butter beans, tomatoes.
Did he
corn.
sell anything, or is it strictly
He sold cows.
cows? Okay, so he sold an entire cow. And did you have milk from the cows? I mean, the family did.
Yeah.
Did you sell milk?
No,
Just for the family.
And we used to make our own butter. Had a churn where you make your butter. You
That's
do it
tiring.
Up and down.
Yeah.
I used to do that.
That was your job?
Yep.
Okay. That's cool.
Had hens. So you had your own eggs. We had ducks. They ain't like duck egg.
So what's the difference in your mind? The flavor.
They bitter.
The duck eggs. Stronger.
Yeah.
What about goose eggs?
Oh, we didn't have goose.
No goose at all. And you had, I guess, did everybody have cars?
My dad didn't have no car.
So he had a what do you call it?
Oh, he had a horse. Well, he just stayed right around here. And if you want to go somewhere, to somebody, I guess, would take him. But you didn't have to go. Like I say, you just go to a store, get your flour, meal. And that was about it.
So where was that store?
I don't remember.
I heard there was a store up at the other end on Gum Springs Road and Braddock.
Yeah, Nellie say was a store up there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're tearing all that up now.
Yeah, it's gone now. The house, they tore that.
I noticed that the other day.
Other day, yeah, last week.
But that's about where the store was?
Yeah, that was Nellie said it was.
And that's right along Gum Spring, right.
The only store I remember was down here on 50 called Downs Store.
Downs.
And that's, he sold everything, flour and stuff like that.
And did race matter? They would sell black or white. Did it matter?
No, it didn't matter.
And was he black or white?
He was white.
Okay, so it didn't matter. As long as you had the money, you could. Did you buy in credit or just cash? Do you remember?
I think you could buy on credit.
You could. Right. What did you do for entertainment?
Nothing. Nothing. Play cards, checker. Domino, that was it.
Okay.
Didn't have no TV. Had the radio run by batteries, some kind of little battery. I don't hook it up.
Where was Pat born?
Nellie's husband.
Your daughter, Pat.
Oh, Patricia?
Patricia, I call her Pat, yeah.
Oh, when she was born?
Yeah.
She was born in the Loudon Hospital, the old Loudon Hospital.
The old Loudon Hospital. Oh, okay. And then she lived here.
No, she lived in a house across from the Miller School.
Okay.
The house where,
And then
we moved here.
Then here, yeah, right. Just curious.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's kind of it. Today is I'm just putting this for the record here. It's the 1st of December, 2018, and it's anything you want to add?
Did it say wasn't nothing to do?
No, that's okay. Just trying to think if there's anything else I got here. No, I guess that's it. Well, thanks a lot.
Oh, you're welcome.
Appreciate it. Let me see if I can stop this.